What is going on, guys? I am LaserBolt and welcome to today's video, guys. I wasn't planning on making this video, but seeing all the reviews, seeing all the misconceptions the game is getting, and people not understanding what the heck the end game is for this game, I decided to make this video to talk about two major things. Number one, explain to you guys what the end game is about the game and what you could expect and why this game has a lot of longevity, not just plain the story like some reviews say, and also addressing all the bad reviews the game is getting and why I would highly recommend, if you're watching this video, to reconsider the reviews that you have seen on the internet. We're going to address why it's getting bad reviews, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I hope you guys enjoy the video because it's going to be exciting. So let's get started, of course, with the end game. So let me go ahead and pull up the screen here of the game and show you guys exactly what we have so far. So currently right now, guys, my character is already, one of my first characters is already level 30. So if I go here to the gear, you're going to notice that my character is a level 30. It has level 30 suit, level 30 melee weapon, level 30 range weapon. And the question to you guys is, what do you actually do after you finish the campaign? Because I already finished the whole entire campaign. It is completely done. And I have nothing else to do, right? So what do you exactly do now? Do you continue the storyline, or what actually happens after you're done? Well, there's a couple things that you could do in the game that are really important. So we're going to pull up, guys, the case files here. And within the case files, and we go here a little bit further, you're going to notice we're going to get to the section where it says challenges. Now, these challenges right here, guys, all of these are challenges that I have not done, and I'm already level 30. So I would technically consider these to be endgame, because you could do them while you're doing the campaign, or you can leave them for last, which I highly recommend you do, because one important thing about this game is that the gear that you get drops based on your level. And some of this gear gets carried across your different characters. So you're definitely going to want to watch my level up video to understand how all of this works. But I'm going to show you guys right here. I got a couple contexts that I got to do, right? So that's one thing. I got Clayface to uncover. I have to complete the Harley Quinn quest. I have basic trainings that I haven't done. I have Gotham Most Wanted. So these right here, guys, are things that people that are reviewing the game are not completing and not doing, because I didn't hear none of them actually talk about these. Now, these particular characters are not bosses, but they are mini bosses. And look how many there is. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, one of the reviews we're going to mention here is going to say there aren't enough bosses in the game, okay? And these are 10 mini bosses. Yes, they are not, like end game bosses, but they're mini bosses that are going to give you XP rewards and some really good loot. In addition to that, guys, you also have crafting. Now, crafting is really important because this is going to allow you to unlock the whole variety of different suits that you have. And all this stuff I still have not done. Now, in addition to that, you also have collectibles that you're able to get, which will reward you extra AP to level up your character even further. And as you guys right here, look at all the stuff that we did do. There's a really good amount of endgame if you don't do them or you save them after you complete the story. So that is one particular aspect. Now, the X aspect of endgame, of course, this is a RPG. And of course, like being any RPG, your leveling up is very important. Now, these suits, for example, all of these suits come with different varieties and different weapons and different stats. And of course, you're going to want to have the best suit available for when you do high-end content. And we're going to talk about why this is relevant and why it's important. So as you guys notice right now, this suit allows me to have 3 mods in here. So I have to go ahead and collect mods in order to be able to craft a very good item. And one question you're probably wondering, is it really that important? Are the enemies that difficult? Wait a second, stay with me in the video, and then we're going to talk about that just a little bit. So right here, guys, if you notice these mods, I'm able to level these mods up to get better mods. And that's going to give me the advantage of applying better mods to my suits to make me just a little bit more powerful. Now, in addition to that, the end game is also unlocking all the transmog suits and getting all the really cool suits as well. And of course, you're going to be doing these by, doing certain stuff within the game. Now, with that being said, guys, you're also going to want to unlock your abilities. Like, for example, this one right here, this is tied to a challenge that you're only, the knighthood challenge, which you're able to unlock anytime throughout the game, or you can leave it towards endgame if you wanted to. And you also have the momentum abilities, which you also need to unlock by completing stuff within the story. For example, this one right here, I already completed the entire game, but I still haven't unlocked this one because I have some of the characters that we're going to show you guys right now that I haven't completed already, or by the time making this video. So you're definitely going to want to make sure you unlock all your momentum abilities, and that's going to work across for all different characters. Because if I go to another character right here and I switch over to a different character, all of this is going to be required for me to do as well. So if you're not playing this game to play at least 2 characters, then you're playing the game really wrong. Now we're going to go back into the main menu, and one thing that's not getting addressed at all, guys, is the ability of this game having NG+. Now NG+ is going to reset the story progression. It's going to increase the level of the enemies. You're going to be able to keep all your character progression, and it's also going to increase the level cap to level 40. None of the reviews I saw touched on this subject. This is theoretically part of the game, and the main purpose of the NG Plus is to give you the ability of unlocking all your skills for your character, so you guys could go ahead and get a really powerful character so you could be ready for the end game when they release it November 28th. That is not part of the game, so I'm not going to include that as part of this particular commentary. But I am letting you know, guys, that after you complete the story, you have NG+, and the whole point of NG+ is to get better loot, better gear, and being able to maximize your character to the max level. And no one's actually talking about this. But with that being said, let's talk about why this game is getting really bad reviews. So let me get started with IGN. IGN is giving this game, guys, yes, you guys are ready, it's giving a 5. Now, this is what the person says with his quote, and I'm not criticizing the person that actually reviewed this game. I'm just criticizing because these scores, before they get published on the website, get sent to the person that reviews them, and the person that reviews them okays them. So it is not the person reviewing it, because this could easily be corrected by any person that co-signs to actually release it. So this is what it says. Gotham Knights is a co-op centric cape adventure that made my interest wane thanks to poor combat, transparency, predictable mysteries, and grueling progression. So this guy is giving it a bad score because has poor combat system, which I'm pretty sure he's comparing this to Arkham Knight, and this is not Arkham Knights, guys. This is a different game. The combat system is not poor. A lot of people just don't know how to use combos, don't know how to do momentum abilities, and that's where the combat might feel poor for them. In addition to that, he says transparently predictable mysteries. Okay, so he's saying that the mysteries that are involved in the game are kind of already known. Okay, I'll give him that one in a little bit. I don't agree, but I'll give him that one. And he says grueling progression. The whole point of these games, if you play any RPG, is progression. And the reason why I'm mentioning this, because anybody that's played Destiny, and I know some of the people that actually reviewed this game and a few other reviews that I've seen on the channel, the people that review this game love Destiny, and no one that loves Destiny can talk about grueling progression. Because if there's a game that has grueling progression, it's Destiny. And if you love Destiny and give Destiny such a high regard, there is no way you could complain about another game having grueling progression when you're in love with a game like Destiny, because Destiny is all about grueling progression. So anybody that I know that loves Destiny, that has given this game a bad review and kind of complains about the progression system of being too grindy, I don't know why they're being so ingenuous here when they love a game that has really grueling progression, but criticize another one that has it as well. Now, just to keep on with IGN, I want to show you guys a couple other reviews that they did. So they did this other review called for Metal Hellsinger. Now, I actually got a chance to play this game. They gave this game a 7, okay? And this is what he said. Metal Hellsinger got a 7 for good. Metal Hellsinger might not be the greatest Demon Slayer shoot 'em up in the world, but it's currently a stringing tribute. Now, this particular game, guys, is definitely one of the most shortest games currently available right now. You're not going to get more than 10 hours on this game. And they gave this game a 7, and they gave a game that you're going to be able to get 40 plus hours, a 5. Tell me if that makes sense. Now, just moving along with IGN a little bit more, one of the most criticized games and one of the most comparable games to Gotham Knights is Cyberpunk 2077. The reason is because it got so scrutinized at the beginning, at the launch, and there was a lot of hype. That's the comparison I'm making. They gave this a 9. Now, you guys know how Cyberpunk 2077 was at launch. How are you going to tell me you're going to go ahead and give a game, Cyberpunk 27, a 9, and you're going to go ahead and give Gotham Knights a 4? I mean, what is it, a 5 that they gave it? A 5 when you gave Cyberpunk a 9. The reason why I'm saying you gave a 9 is because IGN okays the review. Okay, they could change the number if they wanted to before the review gets published. So that's why I'm putting it on them. And that is what we have. Now, another company, which I really don't understand what is going on with this. I don't know if these people that play the games don't, or these journalists that play the games don't know how to play video games. I'm not calling them out. I'm just saying some of the stuff they say here really doesn't make sense. So if we pull up GameSpot, they said they gave it a 4 out of 10. Okay, they say the good and the bad. So it says character integration among the Batman family are compelling, so that's good. Co-op play is well considered and rewards players in the right way. Now here's the bad. The loot grind feels tacked on and senseless. Now, once again, I'm going back to the Destiny thing here. Guys, most of these people that review these games love Destiny, and they complain about this. This is just what doesn't make sense to me. Combat fails to evolve in a meaningful way. Once again, the reason the combat fails to evolve in a meaningful way is because people are not learning how to use their momentum abilities. It's not my fault that they cannot hit a button in the correct way. Okay, so a lot of these people button smash. This game is not meant to be button smash. You're definitely going to want to check out my beginner's guide where I kind of explain how you want to play this game and how combat system works. The combat is actually pretty good once you understand it. And a lot of people that are playing this game are not doing it right. I've seen some of their clips. I've seen some of their stuff. They're just button smashing, and this game is not about button smashing because the game has a little bit of synergy in it where you're supposed to smash the button at a certain time to generate momentum. So I don't know why people are not understanding this. Now, another thing they said is too few boss battles and the lack of variety in how you fight them. I do have to agree in the sense of the lack of variety of how you fought them because there are a lot of similarities, but I wouldn't say there are a few boss battles. There are a couple of bosses in the game and mini bosses, which I feel should tie in together and be considered. I showed you guys at the beginning of the video, there's 10 mini bosses that are, and maybe the mechanics are just the same, which I agree, but there are 10 mini bosses, right? And including the big bosses that you're able to fight as well. Then the other one says, fails to use the Court of Owls in any memorable way. I do have to agree and disagree on this one because the Court of Owls, guys, it does make sense on the way they tied it, but I feel like they could have progressed that and moved that a little bit further. All right, so the next one is leveling up demands too many mindless street crimes. That is not 100% correct, guys. The problem is these people don't know how to level. I feel like they're just, you know what I feel like the majority of these people that reviewed the game did, and I could almost 99%, okay, I'll do 95% tell you guys that all they did was sit down, play the campaign, and made a review. That's all they did. None of these people actually went ahead and G+. None of them went ahead and killed the mini bosses. None of them went ahead and kind of made a build for the game or made a build for the character. They just went ahead, played the campaign, switched over to Batgirl, and then they switched to Robin for one campaign session, and then they switched to Red Hood for one campaign session. Then they switched to Night Hood for one campaign session. Then they were like, okay, well, I like Robin. I'm gonna play with Robin the whole campaign. And they finished the campaign and they made the review. I think that is a very wrong way to make a review when you do not use every aspect that the game has in store for you guys to use. And I could tell you guys, 95%, none of these people are NG+. If we look at their game and we look at their screen, none of them are going to be level 31, 32, level 40 because they did an NG+. And one of the reasons you play RPG games, especially like this one where level matters or level supposedly technically matters, is because you want to hit NG+. And you want to hit that higher level. And you want to get as high level and max out level as you possibly can. And that is the reason why I feel this game got bad reviews. I think some of the people that reviewed the game didn't play the game the way it was intended to be played, and that's why they gave it a bad review. And I could tell that because all the other reviews they review of other games, which are even, I wouldn't say worse, because I love gaming and everybody's to their opinion, but they've given some really good scores to some games that have you questioning like, how are you going to give this game a 4, but you get Metal Hellsinger an 8, GameStop? How? Explain this to me. How do you give a game that's less than 10 hours? It is, I don't want to criticize the game, but I'm just saying, how do you give that an 8 and you give Gotham Knights a 4? It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. At least say like give it a 7, or at least if you're going to give Metal Hellsinger a 5 or a 6, it would make sense that you give the other one a 4. It just doesn't make sense. I think these people are playing the game incorrectly. And that's why I think when it comes to reviews, guys, you should definitely go with a reviewer that actually is a gamer and not someone that's a journalist. And that's not to discredit journalists because there's probably some really good journalist players out there. But I'm just saying some of them are just doing a disservice to when it comes to reviews. My tip for you guys in this game, if you don't want to buy it, rent the game out, make your own opinion, and come back to this video or to my review video. And I'm going to tell you guys, you're probably going to disagree with the majority of the bad reviews. I hope you guys are enjoying our content here at the channel. If you are doing the huge favor, guys, drop a comment, drop a like, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel, turn on all your notifications. You're probably going to want to check out this video that's popping up right now on the screen, 10 things you wish I knew before I started playing the game. That should help you along the journey with Gotham Knights. If you haven't heard or seen my review, I highly recommend you guys definitely check it out so you guys can get a better perspective of what the game feels like. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.